Pokemon events feature exclusive content that is meant to run for only a limited time. For the most part, when a Pokemon event ends, it's gone forever. But today, I am going through the journey of resurrecting a Gen 4 Pokemon event from more than a decade ago. This is how it turned out. So first and foremost, when you were a kid going to Gamestop or Nintendo World or wherever these events took place, how did you think they were sent out? If I had to guess, your stupid 10-year-old brain, like my stupid 10-year-old brain, probably thought that these Pokemon were giving away via the store's Wi-Fi. And to a certain extent, that is correct. They did use that method for a few of the later mythical Pokemon in Generations 6 and 7. That, or you just didn't question it because that ruins the magic of getting a shiny new Pokemon. But prior to Generation 6, exclusive Pokemon and other events used to be given away through these little things: distribution cartridges. The Game Boy ones are a bit more documented and easier to distinguish from regular Game Boy games, but the DS ones to the untrained eye may just look like regular DS games. So yeah, in a Wizard of Oz type of way, there was a man behind the curtain operating a Nintendo DS with one of these bad boys plugged in. Well, actually, there probably wasn't anyone operating these things, since you can just turn them on and leave them running as long as you need to. It was a fun little way for Pokemon to do cross-promotions with these various game stores, and to get antisocial people like you and me out of our basements. Because God knows we need to. But of course, the major downside to these events is that once they're gone for good. You'll probably never be able to receive this content again. Or so we thought. As it turns out, a small handful of these cartridges have made their way out into the world, some for no less than hundreds of dollars. And when I realized I had the holy trinity of disposable income, too much free time, and a slightly corrupted brain that always thinks about making content, I knew what I had to do next. Recreate a lost Pokemon event. I'll have a conversation starter at parties for the rest of my life. So right now, I am on the road. Well, not really, I'm in my driveway. But I know there's a place nearby that sells old Pokemon memorabilia and games, so I'm heading there first, and hopefully they'll have what I'm looking for. So I ended up checking out one of my local game and anime stores where I know I saw a Meloetta event cartridge for $400 when I visited there a few months ago. It was a steep price, but one that I was willing to pay for the sake of content. But as I gazed at the wall of extremely overpriced Pokemon games, Emerald for $500 by the way, please don't tempt me like this, I noticed that the Meloetta cartridge was indeed missing. Who in their right mind would buy one of these things? That includes me, by the way, but I'm a YouTuber. I practically have a license to be insane. They also had the Pokemon Diamond and Pearl demo cartridge from 2006 for $600, which, if nobody had ever covered on YouTube, or if I were slightly less mentally stable, I might have caved and bought it. I couldn't help but notice that they also had the mythical $2,000 Pokemon box game that I literally just discussed on this channel less than a month ago, so that was a neat little coincidence. And after a few more distractions, I don't know what language this is, but his name is Pyrobutt. That is really funny. Is that top half Rem? I ultimately left the store with absolutely nothing gained. Feeling slightly disappointed, I then decided to do the next most logical thing. Go to eBay. Which is probably what I should have started with, since you'll get way better deals there than these overpriced game and anime stores. Eventually, I managed to locate perhaps one of the most iconic events of all time, the shiny Crown City Beast Trio from the Zoroark movie, for the low price of about $150. This was a Gen 4 distribution, but the Beast could be moved up to Pokemon Black and White releasing a few months later to unlock the Zoroark event in Lost Lorn Forest. So it's kinda like two for the price of one. Not that I would recommend buying these cartridges for such steep prices. There's a lot of better things that you can do with your money, like becoming a channel member, because $150 is definitely far above my entry point for making a video. I really hope this wasn't a mistake. As I hold this tiny piece of overpriced and potentially unusable plastic, I realized this must be what an NFT owner feels like. So right away, I could immediately notice the must return to Nintendo and not for resale warnings. Heck, they have it marked on the back too, just to make sure nobody missed the message. Well guys, if this is my last video, then it means that the Nintendo ninjas have indeed killed me in my sleep. But I suppose I was always destined to go out this way. This one is game card number 1858. The lack of an extra zero at the front tells me that more than likely there's less than 10,000 of these cartridges out there, at least in English-speaking territories. Kinda crazy considering that all of these other Pokemon cartridges are produced by the millions. Allegedly, these cartridges were supposed to be destroyed when they got back to Nintendo headquarters, which certainly explains why their value is so astronomically high. Nintendo really didn't want the general public to know about their existence. But it's now time for the moment of truth. Can we bring back a 2011 Pokemon event in the year 2022? And the answer appears to be no, at least in the first attempt. That's right, there's an extra step involved here. The Pokemon Company was so strict about these event windows that the cartridge literally will not function if the DS's clock is set to outside the guidelines. Thankfully, this is an easy fix. All I have to do is send my DS back to January of 2011. The original Shiny Raikou event ran from January 3rd to the 9th, so I put it on the 5th just to be comfortably within the window. As an extra precaution, I'm using my DS Lite in case my cartridge says, "Wait a minute, you buffoon, this is a new 3DS XL, these didn't exist in 2011. I don't know how the cartridge would possibly know that, but I'm just insecure enough to not risk it. And lo and behold, that simple calendar fix did the trick. Shiny Raikou is now being given out through my very own DS Lite. Boys, we are about to receive a Shiny Raikou in 2022 from 2011. That is insanity right there. I cannot actually believe it worked. So you can see right there, it comes straight from Gamestop. It's holding its signature Michael Berry, and yes, I did have to use Pokemon Platinum for this because apparently I had already received this Raikou on my Heart Gold, so that was my bad on that part. But it's also a special Raikou because it knows Aura Sphere, and I believe the other two also have signature moves as well, so let's do those real quick. Rinse and repeat for Entei and Suicune, just moving the DS's clock up a few weeks every time. Just like that, all three shiny beasts in one Platinum cartridge. All that was left to do is move up these beauties to Pokemon Black and White and activate the Lost Zoroark event. An event I certainly never anticipated seeing twice in my lifetime. And in this exact moment, I realized it was going to be really hard to record in one hand and play Poke Transfer with the other, so let's just cut ahead. Alright, moment of truth, everybody. We have the beasts in the party, and now we're going to see if we can actually get the Zoroark event to happen, and indeed we do. The long-lost Zoroark event in the year 2022 with the shiny legendary beasts. So, what happened to event cartridges? Simply put, they were primitive technology by the time the 3DS came out, if not already before that. It's just way less of a hassle to give Pokemon away through the internet than shipping out these extremely niche cartridges to various stores for a few weeks at a time. But even these newer Wi-Fi events proved to not be perfect. I distinctly remember in 2015 when they gave away Hoopa at McDonald's, there was a loophole that you could use to get the Hoopa from your home, since it was a Wi-Fi event. I actually made a popular video about this way back when it was happening. Basically, you could connect your 3DS to your phone set as a Wi-Fi hotspot, and all you had to do was change the name of your phone's hotspot to McDonald's free Wi-Fi, and the game would actually think that you were at McDonald's. So that way, socially awkward people like you and me, we could just stay home and save ourselves the embarrassment of bringing a 3DS out in public. Maybe that's why those type of events didn't stick around very long. Since then, some half-hearted efforts have been made to immortalize these events. Magearna is still obtainable in Sun and Moon through a freely accessible QR code that is set to never expire. Meltan and Melmetal have also seemingly been future-proof through Pokemon Go and Pokemon Home, but now they've mostly gone back to doing Wi-Fi events. I guess it makes sense, it's not like Pokemon needs these stores like GameStop to get any free promotion. And I can tell you, when I went to GameStop for these Pokemon, I didn't really feel enticed to buy another game in the process. So I can't imagine these crossovers were all that beneficial to either party. Now it's more convenient, but it still kinda sucks. In the case of these newer mythicals like Marshadow, Zeraora, or Zarude, the event is literally lost forever. You just have to play the waiting game until they get sent out again, and sometimes that can take years. So while I don't condone buying these very pricey event cartridges, there is something magical to them. At least they're events that can be recreated even if they were never meant to be. And I won't lie, it does feel somewhat satisfying to own this rather rare piece of Pokemon history. Basically, the moral of this video is, I'm a crackhead, and you shouldn't buy NFTs. Be sure to subscribe for more, and thank you to my amazing channel members, as always, for supporting my content, and I'll see you guys next time.